Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and today I want to talk about the full moon in Leo that's happening on February 12th, 2025 at 5:53 a.m. Pacific time. A full moon is where the sun and the moon are in an opposition, and the sun's light is being reflected off of the moon. This happens every month. It's the brightest phase of the moon. Oftentimes, it's referred to as an ending or a conclusion. I don't know if I really see it that way. I kind of see it as a new beginning based on the information that is illuminated by the full moon or the events that take place around the full moon. And every month we see a full moon in the opposing house of whatever sign we're in. So the sun is now in Aquarius and the moon is in Leo. Leo is very much about the self. It's where we look at our personal entertainment and pleasure. This is where we look at our romances and our perspective about romance. This is where we enjoy our own talents and skills, where we put them on a stage. It is the most pleasurable sign of the zodiac, and yet it's also a house of leadership. Now, here's the moon, emotional, right? And I, as an intuitive astrologer, believe that the moon is really the most important planet because we're emotional beings. We make our choices, our decisions, and our perceptions are based on our emotions. Our thoughts are based on our emotions. So here we are with this 24-degree moon reflecting the sun in Aquarius, where we're looking to the future, where we're looking at humanity, where we're thinking about really the cosmic collective, the bigger picture. Aquarius rules space, it rules technology, it rules adventure in invention and ingenious. And so here, this genius, this invention, the humanity is reflecting itself onto the moon and asking, am I enjoying things? Am I living a life that is, I look back and I'm like, wow, I was a fun ride. And the answer to that may be sketchy at best because we've got a T square to Uranus, and Uranus is at 23 degrees of Taurus. Taurus rules history. It rules my personal history, how my confidence and my skills and my talents were shaped as a result of my childhood experience and my family and the nurturing I got. And we're looking at a full moon squaring Uranus, all in fixed signs, where the energy just feels sort of sandwiched in and unable to move. Let me pull up the chart. Now, while the fixed signs feel a little sandwiched and unable to move, this Uranus aspect squaring the full moon and being the focal point of this illumination is going to absolutely move something, and in an explosive potentially explosive way, in a potentially I almost want to say volatile way, but it feels as if it's clearing something. When we look at the full moon at the 24th degree, we're looking at the Piscean degree, the very last Pisces degree that we will see when we talk energetically. So there's a mastering of something, a willingness to look at the blurry lines and to clear things up, a willingness to move the fog away. And we see that the sun, while it is reflecting its Aquarian light onto this Leo moon, it is in a very tight conjunction with Mercury. Now, most planets are considered combust up against the sun, and yet Mercury flies closest to the sun and is the most able to sort of be neutral because Mercury gives information. It literally is the processor, the analyzer. And here in Aquarius, I think it takes on more of that analytical type of energy. There's also a very quick energy when Mercury is in Aquarius. So there is an illumination that's coming. And I think it has a lot to do with, I think, journalism, how we get information, how the information that is dispensed to the collective affects our pleasures, our enjoyment, our sense of when we think of falling in love and we think of romance, we start thinking of a dreamy fairy tale life. So there's that new beginning that I think a full moon offers. But here, again, there's this focal point here on Uranus. And Uranus is stationed at 23 degrees. First, it was retrograde, and then it went direct, and it will not change or will not move off the 23rd degree until March 12th, I believe it is actually. So we have a whole other month with this very powerful Uranus sitting like 5 times more powerful in the sky, demanding a move into the future, demanding invention, demanding that we use our genius, which is discernment in many ways, starting to separate from a potential herd mentality and moving into more discernment, more individuality. Taurus is an energy that rules our individual skills. Often, I will say it rules the voice. And when I think of the voice, while it rules the singing voice, it rules your opinion, you being able to speak your opinion. So I think that this full moon on a more outward level, like we could see things having to do with information and how information is dispensed. I literally think that this full moon is going to illuminate information about the Black Hawk helicopter crash into the commercial airliner. I think there new information is going to come up about that. I don't know whether it's good information or challenging information. It would be unexpected, to say the least. And because Mercury is in Aquarius and it's squaring Uranus, I feel like this does have a little bit of this aviation flair to it. Uranus rules aviation, it rules space, it rules lightning and electricity. And I kind of wonder if we won't find out that there might have been some kind of glitch in the electrical apparatuses of the Black Hawk or something going on that had to do with electricity that and hopefully exonerates the crew. But in any case, on a personal level, this is very much wherever your house of Taurus is going to be the focal point of this full moon. And if indeed you're sort of stuck in an old story, which I'm going to put as Leo right now, because that rules high school, the fifth house, the lower half of the chart, when we look at it in its natural alignment. And then we're looking at Uranus moving us into the future with new ideas. So something unexpected could come, but it feels as if it comes on the heels of something that feels disruptive. And I want to offer that oftentimes a divine disruption is the inspiration for us to move ourselves forward more intentionally. And while the Uranus is the focal point, I do think that in the background, we're hearing the concert of Venus's individuality here in her Aries energy at the 5th degree of Leo. We see that Neptune is at 28 degrees, which is that Cancerian degree. It's also reduces down to a 1. So, how am I using my creativity? Am I nurturing my creativity? And the North Node is making us ravenous to want to move our into a more soul-based expression within the physical. So this trusting of the universe, this knowing that we're infinite, knowing that we're more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. And here is Saturn at 18 degrees of Pisces, that Virgonian degree that echoes back to Mercury, really sort of demanding discipline in the thought process. That if indeed you experience a personal disruption, it could be something that's very liberating for you. Again, Uranus is at 23 degrees. This is the Aquarian degree where the sun and where Mercury are. So I think this is going to be a very illuminating full moon in the sense of deciphering, again, information as it comes to us, starting to notice patterns of, I kind of want to put it this way, where we see information come through and then somehow it's revisited, or it's, oh, we thought it was this, but then it was this. There's something about turning things upside down with Uranus. There's something about it's funny, you know, there's Uranus is very rebellious here, or as a naturally as a planet. But how I'm seeing this is sort of very with a lot of wings for some reason. Intuitively, I feel like Mercury and Uranus's square is sort of Mercury representing my childhood, my past, even the moon in Leo could represent like my high school years, you know, how those high school romances affected my self-worth and my confidence. And then this Uranus and Taurus just wanting to blow up the old story and saying, when are you going to use the components of that story to build a new story rather than just going back over and over the old story? So overall, I think this full moon is focused on a feeling of electricity, a feeling of lightning, a feeling of taking flight. And I think that the sun and Mercury are actually working together to illuminate how my thoughts have this tendency to go to whatever the loop is, you know, whatever that default is. I do think Mercury can be very much of a default, you know, imprinted thoughts, that monkey mind that we talk about. So as you become aware of these thoughts, it actually gives you an opportunity to just sit in that awareness. And when you sit in that awareness, then Uranus, through that disruption or through that unexpected, you know, sometimes we don't get liberated from something until we get really pissed off about it, frankly. And that's what Uranus tends to do, piss something off in order to actually break up the energy. So twofold. Number one, I think you're going to see something in the media, something very definitive information coming out about things that fly. So if it doesn't have to do with that particular Black Hawk incident, it will have to do with things that fly, like helicopters. You know, maybe we'll find out more about the fires in Los Angeles area and what was done or what can be done from the air. I don't know, but it just feels it's coming through very strong for me. And number two, I think on a personal level, whatever house Taurus is for you is giving you an opportunity to use your voice in a way that moves yourself into the future. And the sun and Mercury are really wanting to reflect a future dynamic that's based more on enjoyment, more on those great memories of experiences versus the loop of chasing money or financial security. I hope this makes sense for you. These full moons, you know, they come every month offering us a piece of information so that we can start to collect that information and sort it in a way that is now a tool to use. I want to offer this real quickly too. While we see the planets in the sky, I believe they represent character traits that we all possess as human beings. So if we look at the sun representing our ego and our leadership and our sense of self and how we project our light out into the world, we want to project that with Mercury's cooperation so that we can get the information we need, process that information through our emotional body. What brings me pleasure? What makes me feel like the audience is applauding my talents and my skills? And then Uranus is that focal point that means something has to be done that can create an explosion, a lightning strike, something that demonstrates your genius. And it could be something that is as quote unquote simple as putting yourself out on a limb to see how the audience would react. Therefore, putting out a video, going to an open mic night, daring to go for a job you want when you're not qualified for it, but you have passion for it. That's kind of Uranian. So that's what I have to say about this full moon in Leo. Again, focused on what brings you joy, pleasure, entertainment, what comes from your heart. Uranus is demanding courage and to use your backbone. That's that Leo energy. All right, everybody, that's it for me. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer and tarot card reader. Please join me Sundays live at 11 a.m. where we look at the transits ahead and we get the angels' advice for traversing them. And then you can join me Wednesdays at 4. Sundays is at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time, I will be doing tarot card readings based on your personal questions and what you would like to know. In fact, this Wednesday, the 12th, is the full moon in Leo. So I hope you will join me there. And I look forward to seeing you. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.